This is the first video for AP Statistics. So the first thing I want to say is welcome to AP Statistics. I think that statistics is by far the most useful math class you can take in high school. And I say that because the tools and the things that we discuss are relevant and important in a lot of different careers and life paths. So I hope that you find the things that we will discuss this year as relevant and useful to you for not just this year, but for the rest of your life. Okay? By the end of this video, we'll discuss chapters 1 and 2. So by the end of this first part, you should be able to summarize what we will discuss this year. You should also be able to fill in the blank. Statistics is about this. The first thing you'll do is watch a very short overview of AP Statistics.
Here's a very simple overview of AP Statistics. Our goal is to learn something about a population. It can be a group of people or a group of products or a group of things, but our goal is to learn something about a population. Now, it is almost always impossible to study and analyze everything in our population because it's just too big. So we will draw a sample using randomization. Okay, so once we've randomly chosen a sample, that's the group that we ask questions and we analyze. Okay, we'll collect data from this sample. It could be asking questions, it can be performing an experiment if we're imposing some kind of a treatment. The data we collect could be quantitative or categorical. But we take that data and we analyze the data from our sample. We will usually draw pictures and perform calculations. Okay? The goal of statistics is to use our sample to draw conclusions about our population. And we can only do that if we did everything correctly. And that's the overview of statistics.
Okay, the next topic in chapter 1 that I think is useful to discuss is statistics in a word. So this is a quote from the book. Economics is about money. Psychology is about why we think about what we think about. Biology about life. Anthropology is about who. Statistics in a word is about variation. Okay? There's populations and there's differences within the population. That's what we are studying in statistics. Okay? We live in a world of variation, therefore we have to analyze that variation, and that's exactly what we do in statistics. Chapter 2. By the end of this chapter, you should be able to define data. What is data? You should also be able to explain what questions data answers. And finally, see how data fits into the overview of this class. Data is information in context. That's really important that it is in context. Here is a quote from the book, but basically, data answers the questions who, what, where, when, why, and how, and it is in context. At the bottom here is a data table, and we'll look at things like this occasionally throughout the year. Okay? But data answers the question who, what, where, when, why, and how. So if you look at a single subject or something in the population, okay, that answers the question of who, Catherine H., and what she purchased previously and where she lives, and some of those questions are answered from this data table. Not all of them. We don't know why she purchased it or how she purchased it, but data answers those questions of who, what, where, when, why, and how. Okay, so here was the overview that you watched earlier in this video. Okay, and the data collection has to do with here. Okay, you will collect data from your sample and analyze that data. Okay, and that data is who, what, where, when, why, and how. And as you analyze that data, you will then draw conclusions about the population. That's the whole point of statistics and things we'll talk about for this entire year. So this video was about an overview of statistics and also what data is. Thank you so much for watching.